Hey everyone, my name is Matt Ross and you are watching or listening to episode 1 of the Ask Matt Ross show. Alright, so I put out on Instagram stories on the sticker feature asking if you guys could send in questions about anything that you would like me to answer. And I'm literally just going to go through them one at a time and answer all of them. The first one comes in from Abdu and he says, how do you become a model? Very, very good question and one that I get asked a ton. Abdu, it's very simple, or anybody who's watching or listening to this, it's very simple. If you want to be a model, and I'm talking a pure mainstream model, you need to apply to a modeling agency, right? It's that simple. If you want to be a signed model, the only way to be a signed model is to sign with a modeling agency. It's that simple. So how do you do that? One, you're going to log on to Google, you're going to search top modeling agencies and whatever the name of your city is. So top modeling agencies Cape Town. If you are in Sao Paulo in Brazil, top modeling agencies Sao Paulo, top modeling agencies India, wherever it happens that you are. You're then going to fill in their online application form, or you're going to contact them. You're going to pick up the phone, you're going to say, hey, I'd like to come in for an appointment, I'd like to meet you guys, or you're going to send them an email and you're going to apply. Once you've done that, if you don't hear back, my personal thing, because I'm a hunter, I go for what I want in life, is I would say 2 days after applying, follow up with them, another 2 days after that, follow up with them, leave the weekends, and then follow up again after 2 days. If you don't hear anything back from them, it's probably time to either continue contacting all the other potential agencies, which you should do anyway. You should contact every single agency there potentially is, but maybe it's time to look at maybe applying to modeling agencies in another city center. Or it's just quite simple and the market in which you're applying to try and become a model is just not suited for your look. For example, in Cape Town, where I'm filming this currently, I don't work as much as I would as if I was in Mumbai, India, just because my look is better suited for the Mumbai, India market or for the Indian market. So that needs to be taken into consideration as well. But in terms of how do you get signed, it's very simple. Apply to modeling agencies. Okay, the second question of the day comes in from Callum Wilcox, who says, what's your favorite campaign that you've ever shot? That's a very, very difficult question. Okay, I'm going to actually answer it in two because campaign and commercial are often confused. Probably my favorite commercial that I've ever shot is for Allianz, which is a German insurance company, or a Swiss-based Swiss-based insurance company. That was really, really cool. There were multiple different scenes. I really, really enjoyed that. And in terms of campaign, there's so many good ones. I really enjoyed myself in set. I love shooting. I love the collaborative process. I love putting in the work and being able to see the end result at the end. But I think off the top of my head, the top one will probably be Martini and Rossi, which is, for any of you watching or listening, it's an alcohol brand. It's like they do aperitifs and stuff. That was really, really cool, and that was flighting globally. So that was probably my favorite campaign that I ever shot. The next question comes in from Rabbity, and he says, what do you say makes your vlog or slash blogs different from other travel blogs? What stands out? I've never really thought about it, to be completely honest. I never try and push to try and be unique or different, and let me elaborate on that. The 99% of the content I produce, if it's my daily vlogs, then I'm not producing them with an intention to create something creative. I'm documenting, I'm not creating. I'm just literally taking my phone and I'm filming myself and I'm capturing what I'm doing in the day, and then I'm putting that out. If it comes to my blog, which is written and a picture form, I'm just capturing what I see around me, things that interest me, aesthetics that I find pleasing, and then I'm curating that content and I'm putting that out there. And then in terms of the travel vlogs or the traveling the world episodes, which I put up onto my main YouTube channel, which some of you will be watching this video on, for those, I guess what makes it unique is I just try and make it as fast-paced and entertaining as possible, but also do a summary and give you a full idea of the place that we are watching, or the place that we're in, and the things that we're experiencing. So I don't actually know what makes it unique. I think the thing that makes it so special is the frequency of the content, the level of curation, and then the amount of time and effort that I give back to you guys, the viewers or the listeners or the people who consume the content, the Mad Attackers. So I've never really given it any thought as to what makes it unique. I just put out content that I like and that I'm passionate about, and that I hope that you guys will be receptive to and enjoy, and then I just adapt along the way. So my intention is never to try and create something that I think is going to go viral. I just put out the best content that I humanly can, in the time frame that I give myself, and then I move on as quickly as possible and I go produce the next piece. So I hope that answers it. Yeah, the next question comes in from Pablo Cruz, and he says, when will you come to Manzanillo, Mexico, and have a good time together? I would love to go to Mexico. I really also want to see Tulum in Mexico. I think that would be an incredible place. To be completely honest with yourself and all the viewers and the listeners of this, I'm open to traveling pretty much anywhere in the world. My big focus, my main passion in life is, one, to travel and see as much of the world as possible, and as a result of that, be able to share that with you and those people who consume the content I put out. And the second, and this is incredibly important to me, is to motivate and inspire and give practical methods on how you guys can do the shit that you love. That is so important to me. So Pablo, I'm glad you asked this question. I don't actually know when I'm going to go to Mexico, but if the opportunity came around to me tomorrow and I was able to fly the next day, I would take it. Like 100% I would do it. So no definite plans, but Mexico is very high up on the travel bucket list. The next question comes in from Katie. Oh, this is a difficult one. She asks, what inspires you to produce content? Katie, that is difficult. I think it also kind of leads on to what I just said for Pablo, is for me, the content production process is only really produced, and when I say produced, I mean that thought goes into it, that it's curated, the color aesthetics are taken into account, how it's going to work on my Instagram feed, how it's going to be received on Twitter, all of that sort of stuff, where the nitty gritty, like almost artistic curation side of it comes in. That is only really done for the travel-based content. So I think I'm blabbering, I think I'm going on a tangent. I think what inspires me to produce content is, one, I love traveling, and two, I love inspiring people, and I love people to be able to recognize and realize the shit that they love to do, and then give them ways to do the shit that they love to do, if that makes sense. And I think that in terms of these videos or any of the Q&A or any of the public talks that I do, what inspires me to do that is because I deeply believe that you've only got one opportunity at this flippin' amazing thing called life, and we live in one of the best damn times to be alive, and everybody should be taking every bit of ounce of within them to try and achieve what they want to in life and being honest with themselves about what they want to. So these videos I put out because I am inspired and I'm passionate about trying to help people. I would love to do this till I kick the bucket and die. I would love to try and motivate people and help them do the shit that they love. So that's what inspires me to put out that type of content. And then the travel content, the nice photos, the travel videos, all of that sort of stuff, I put that out because I enjoy traveling, and I know other people enjoy traveling, and I like to be able to share that with people, and it also helps me connect with people around the globe. So that's really cool. But I think if I was to break it down, the traveling content is more selfish because it's something that I want to do. When I gave myself the time to think about lying on my deathbed and about to die, the thing that I wanted to achieve was to travel and see places in the world and share memories with like loved ones and family and friends and stuff. So that's where the traveling comes from. And then the inspirational stuff, the motivational, the practical stuff, I'm inspired to do that because I want people to achieve and do the shit that they love. That's something that matters a lot to me. So I hope that answers it. That's a really big question. That's a really good question. Yeah, thank you so much for asking that. Maya asks, she says, when are you coming to Namibia? You need to come and take amazing photos over here too. Maya, once again, same idea as with Pablo. If I was given the opportunity, or if the opportunity presented, or I could see a gap in the market to go to Namibia and travel and see, I would absolutely jump at it, like 100%. There's so many beautiful places, and Namibia, just being up Africa would be amazing. I would 100% do it. But unfortunately, currently there's no definite or solid plans yet. The next question comes from Hot Dude's Good Mood. The account is run by Anna though, and she said, how did you get the idea of your merch logo? Which, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or visually, that's the logo there. If you're listening to this on SoundCloud or another audio platform, hit me up and I'll show you the logo. It's also a really good question. I'm going to take a little bit of time to answer this. So originally I wanted a community. I felt like I needed a community. I could see that people were engaging with the content. I could see that people were enjoying it. They were asking questions, and every other YouTuber, every other influencer had a community that had like a name for their audience. And so I started thinking, and I played around, and some of you guys got back to me with name ideas, and it took a little while. And eventually we came across, or we came to the name of Matt Attack Pack. And I thought, if it's the Matt Attack Pack, I need a symbol or an animal or like a mascot that is going to represent the pack. And wolf was a good idea, lion was a good idea, elephant were all a good idea, but they were all way too conventional, typical for my taste. I wanted something unique. And so I started looking into animals that were based in Africa, that were underdogs, that were endangered, and I came across the African wild dog, which is similar to a wolf. It's actually called the painted wolf. And so I found the African wild dog. I started doing some digging. I watched some like Nat Geo videos on YouTube, and I just related to them so much. Like, one, they're not a sprinter like a cheetah. They are long-term hunters, which draws straight back to my mentality on life. It's not a quick journey. Everything you do, or everything I do, is about legacy, and I try and instill that in my pack and my community, is that it's not about what's going to make you the money the quickest. It's not what's going to get you there the quickest. It's how do you want to be remembered? If this is something that you want to genuinely do for the rest of your life, why are you trying to do it in 1 year? Like, so their hunting, right? My hunting of my goals, the African wild dogs hunting of their prey, all long term, and that's something I could relate to. Two, they're endangered, which I don't like that they're endangered, but I love that they're like an underdog. They're a fighting back species, something I relate to a lot. I feel like I'm an underdog, staying in an apartment where I sleep on a sleeper couch. Like, there's a lot of that I respect and admire. I love that in the African wild dog pack, your alphas aren't just male, they're female too. I really dig that. I think that that's amazing. Three, I love that they take care of their young. They feed them first. So that's something I believe in. There's people who message me, and I'll always take the time to respond to DMs or private messages. So there's just like a lot of similarities, and they're the underdog, they're long-term focused, they're pack orientated, they're only as strong as all of their members, which is how I feel about my YouTube community, my SoundCloud community, just the pack overall, and I just relate a hell of a lot to them. So I hope that answers it. That's how I found out, or that's how I chose the symbol of my merch, or of my pack, or of my little mini brand, or whatever you want to call it. That's how I found it out. Yeah. The next question comes in also from Callum. He says, what is your favorite coffee shop that you've been to, and what's your favorite type of coffee? I'm actually sipping on a coffee as I film and record this. Okay, difficult one. I'm a big coffee lover. Coffee shop in terms of coffee taste, i.e. the quality of the coffee itself. I'm not paid to say this. I'm just gonna, it's honest, like my honest feedback. My favorite coffee to date that I've tasted in terms of palate and flavor and overall coffee quality would have to be Haas. Or Haas, I'm not sure how the Germans pronounce it. It is a German brand, as far as I understand. Haas is amazing. I really enjoy their coffee. And then in terms of my favorite coffee shop in terms of vibe or atmosphere, it's a number of ones. If I'm grabbing a quick coffee, definitely Seattle. I love Seattle. They're vibey. I frequent them. The people know me. It's very nice. I like Seattle. But then there's also a couple of other. I know you wanted one. I'm sorry. Ground Art Cafe is also really nice. There is Omeo Bakery in Cape Town. There's a lot. There's too many. I can't actually say. And my favorite type of coffee, i.e. like if I was to go to a cafe and order, would have to be a cortado. Alright guys, that is it. Those are the questions for today. I just want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you who sent in your questions. I'm hoping to make this a weekly show of the Ask Matt Ross show. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in, taking your time out of your day to either pop your earphones in and listen to this, if you're listening to this as a SoundCloud podcast, or with you just taking the time to watch us on Facebook, a little snippet of this on Instagram. I deeply appreciate your time and attention. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comment section down below of whatever platform you are listening to or watching this on, and I'll be sure to select a whole bunch of those in the next episode. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch and listen to episode 1 of the Ask Matt show. I will catch you in another episode next week. Peace.